I've tried every type of photography so you don't have to. Now at the end, I'm going to tell you the genre I'm doing in 2026 and why it's going to be so lucrative. And I only realised this on the way to work this morning, because I had a phone call from somebody that wanted to work out how to make the best money in photography, and I was like, I don't know, mate. Who knows? But what I do know is I've tried them all, and I'm going to give you a review of each genre from various standpoints. But keep in mind, I do this as a professional job, and I started out going, I'm going to be a professional photographer. And of course, I knew nothing of the industry. I didn't even know that my work today existed. Of course, I'd seen a photograph of food before, but it hadn't, the wheels hadn't turned. So where did we start at? I started out as a landscape and cityscape photographer, kind of. Now, obviously, I had zero business sense because this is the worst way to make money. It's better now than it was back then. And also keep in mind, I've been doing photography since I had no beard and no grey hair when I started, that's for sure. I'll try and get some pictures to pop up as they go along. Just keep in mind that a lot of them suck because it's when I was starting out in photography. But I started there. There's some problems with it for me. These are the major drawbacks to both of these things. One, you were at the mercy of the weather as to whether your shot would look good or not. You could compose a perfect shot, but really it comes down to the light on the day. Two, you had to do a lot of waiting around. I do a lot of waiting around today on set. If we're doing 4 shots in a day in 10 hours, there's a lot of me standing around doing nothing. But at least there's people with me. It's not like a complete, isolation out there. And 3, it's just it's a lonely world, isn't it? Now, for some people, and to be honest, for myself included, there's a lot of draws to this. I love being out and about and walking. I love exercise. I actually like being alone, just apparently not that much. It was very hard to make money from landscapes back in the day, but now with social media, take someone like Thomas Heaton, for example. 20 years ago, his job didn't exist. He wouldn't make the money he makes today because YouTube wasn't a thing back then. No, it was, but it wasn't what it is today. And then, you don't have that massive Instagram market to sell prints to. You had to literally sell your prints in cafes on the wall or in art galleries. Very difficult to do. And I realised that pretty quickly. Now, I didn't start and stop each one. There's a lot of overlap here. But the next thing I went into was street photography and documentary. I like being out and about, but I wanted some people around. Now, street photography and documentary, notoriously hard to make money from. Easier than landscapes, that's for sure. There was a few situations I got myself in where it was a little bit dicey, which I definitely wouldn't put myself in today now that there's kids at home and Teddy needs me to walk him each day. And I think my partner would be reasonably annoyed if I didn't come home from work. But there was a few dicey situations. I put myself in a few places where it was good photographs, but really wasn't worth the risk in the grand scheme of things. However, you can make good money from that if you're willing to show your work and then shoot a commercial in that style. There is money for that. I'm pretty sure I found a video on YouTube once where someone showed me that they're doing street photography and then shot for KFC. But I know for a fact that Adidas has commissioned street photographers, and I know for a fact that we've commissioned street photographers to do BTS work for ourselves. There is money in it. But not purely. Getting money from street photography is very difficult. It's easier again now with social media. You can sell your prints. People will buy the prints. But it's a tough gig. So I thought, what if I do this sort of photography, but for a paying client? Who needs this sort of documentary work? A bit of, all of that sort of musicians. Let's be a music photographer. And this is perhaps what I spent the most years doing out of all genres. I was in music, I went on tour, I did the album covers, promo packs, the lot. There's money to be made. But it's not all plain sailing, is it? Because when you shoot musicians, there's a couple of problems. One, any clients further down the line in different genres think you're going to be an absolute idiot. Because they think, works with musicians, unreliable, turns up late, parties too hard. All of those were true of me at the time. There's that side to it. And it's really frowned upon in the world I'm in today. You wouldn't want that stuff on your website, I don't believe. My personal take, anyway. If a photographer comes to me again, I'm looking for an agent and they've got live music work, I'm like, nah, you're not ready, mate. And you might be late. And yes, I realise this is not the case for everybody, but we haven't got time to find out. And we definitely don't want to find out on a 6-figure shoot. Musicians, though, they're also late. I remember once doing a band promo shoot and we only got 20 minutes left before I went for my next sitting, and they couldn't find the drummer. They'd lost the drummer. They were all there. They'd lost him. He was missing for hours. Sometimes they've lost the van and they don't know where all the kit is. It's just carnage. You've also got to deal when you're doing the live music stuff with security. I remember one particular famous musician's agent coming up to me going, we need all of those images deleting right away. They talk to you like you're an absolute scum. Try and do rights grabs. There's a whole 3 songs, all that sort of thing. I was quite lucky towards the end of it. I could pretty much walk into any venue and just do what I wanted. But even then, even at that point, I remember turning up somewhere where I was paid for by the band's PR agency to be there to shoot the whole show, and security wouldn't let me in. Very frustrating, but great fun times, especially in my early 20s, especially going on tour. I had some wicked stories. Got some photographs I've taken that will never see the light of day because they're so naughty, but great time. Now, alongside this here, I started doing weddings and events. Now, putting these two together, weddings and events. Weddings are a great career path in photography if you love weddings. I did not. I did a good wedding. I shot a great wedding. Very good deliverables, all the rest of it. It's a very good career. It's lucrative. It's AI proof. It's also, the worst bit about weddings was editing the photographs. AI has actually helped with that. This is one of those rare things where it's like, oh, AI's done a great job there. It's done a great job there. My friends still in the industry, they love that sort of stuff. You can make great money in wedding photography, but there's 2 downsides to it from the money point of view. One is people are booking you 1 to 2 years in advance, so you get a booking fee at best. And 2 is, as I discovered, I had decided to stop shooting weddings. I was still shooting them about 3 years after I decided never to do another wedding again. And I was doing a wedding on like a Sunday or something, and then Monday morning I was shooting a 6-figure campaign. But I'd just done I was taking so many crew members on the weddings, I was actually paying just to get through the day. There's not a good exit strategy from weddings. Events are exactly the same as weddings, but they pay instantly and they're smaller pay packs. But it is good. You do the 2 together, it's the same kit, it's the same logic and work sense. The dream is we used to get these commercial events where it'd be like, I don't know, O2 doing a massive thing, or did lots of esports. They might pay you thousands for those. But they expect more as well, and it's like live delivery on the day, all that sort of thing. But all of that, very good, very easy to get into, easy to make money from. The downside is I'm not great with lots of crowded people. I don't like drunk people being around me anymore. I didn't mind it when I was younger, obviously, but nowadays I hate having drunk people around me. So it is a difficult thing. Got to check my list because so many genres here. Let's have a look. Where we got to? Got music, weddings, events. Aha! By this point, I was done with musicians and I was done with drunkards. I started doing pack shots and product shots. Because I've got a studio at this point as well. I picked up the studio whilst I was doing the music stuff. Pack shots and product shots. This is stuff which is shot on a seamless white to go on websites. It's just a shot of a product. Now, the benefit of this is, especially thanks to Amazon, there's a lot of products that need shooting. A lot of products need shooting. The downside is they pay you peanuts. But I was like, well, I've got the studio, might as well utilise it. We're talking like £10, £20 a shot. It's not good money. It's good money when you scale it. It's a great business to be had if you want to go, right, let's get 5 photographers and 3 retouchers, let's smash it. Although it's normally 3 photographers and 5 retouchers. Don't know why I got that the wrong way around, but that works well. I also started doing interiors and exteriors for architecture firms and the like. Again, nice work, you buy yourself. It's like landscape work, but instead of being expected to wait for the perfect light, for a lot of them, you've got to make your own look. So it's lighting the interiors, hoping for the best with the exteriors. In the UK, that's not such an easy thing. It was okay, but again, there's problems. There's a ceiling to how much you can charge, and you can only do it yourself. They're paying you to do it. You need to be there. And much like with the other stuff, like as soon as you are the product, you need to be charging a substantial amount of money, because say there's 5 jobs in a week, but all 5 of them at the same time, you can only do 1 of them. And then you've got 4 days of doing nothing. But I enjoyed it, get my little tilt shift lens out, the nice straight lines. There's nothing that creative about it. It was a good working job. I got to travel. We did a lot for shopping centre developments. That was a real big thing, interiors and exteriors. And then they wanted to see people using the space as well. And there's a whole load of stuff. Did that for a few years. It was fine. The money was okay. I was probably getting between £500 and £2,000 a job, depending what the job was. It was all right, but you can't ramp it up. It's a fine job, but you can't scale and you can't get bigger. There's like a ceiling to it. Now, at the same time as all of this, right from the music right up until, I don't know, 6 years ago, I was doing portraits. People would pay me for portraits. Every Christmas, I need to do my Christmas shopping. We'd do a Christmas portrait day in November. We'd book in 20-minute slots in the studio here. We'd have one setup, bring families in, take the shot, they'd leave with the images. Make enough money to pay for the whole of Christmas. It was a great day. Don't do that anymore because I don't like working with that many people or the public. But I did portraits for years. I shot portraits of rich and famous people. I did celebrity portraits. I met my girlfriend shooting her portrait for a book cover. And we did all these different portraits. And that led me, the culmination of all these different things led me into what is one of the most misunderstood genres of photography. Corporate photography. Not commercial, it's different. Corporate. I'm talking about going in, photographing the machinery, going in, photographing the CEO, going in, photographing all the staff headshots, all of that sort of stuff. We did loads of it. Headshot photography is without a doubt, if I lost everything and I had to start again today, I'd start headshot photography. Easiest way to quickly make money. Difficult to scale. Again, it's not a one-man band for scaling. You've got to get crew and staff and really build a big thing there. But it's definitely the way I'd go. And I enjoyed headshot photography because I knew what I was doing. It was formulaic. And the problem with working with the public is you don't know if they like how they look. You work with someone famous, they know how they look, they know what looks good. When I'm working with proper talent, it's like, they don't care. They're getting paid to be there. When it's a member of the public, the stress was always, are they going to like how they look in my photograph? And if they don't, can I fix it? Is it a quick, we change the focal length, or is it a, really sorry, but that's what you look like? And I'm not good at that sort of thing. I don't do that conversation. I'm too blunt. Similar time frame to this, I did watch photography. I shot hundreds of watches. It's very technical. It's very finicky. And I was shooting mid-level watch stuff, few grand a day, nothing major. If I could have got into the big leagues in watch photography, I'd be loaded. It's incredibly well paid at the high end, but beneath the high end, it's just a slog. It's a slog. We used to have security guards on the door. You have special insurance. You have to have a special safe installed. It's a lot of hassle. Same with jewelry. But we did that. And at the same time, oddly enough, I shot cars. I shot vintage, high-value cars for a couple of clients. I don't even remember how I got into it. I'll see if I can find some photographs. Beautiful cars. No money at all. Rubbish money, because there's only one item. And this is where people misunderstand the business of photography. If I've got one £50,000 classic car, I'm not going to pay as much for a photograph as if I've got 5 million £10 t-shirts, for example, because I've got to sell those t-shirts over and over again. This picture's selling it once and then it's useless. It's about that repeated use. The cheaper the product is and the higher in volume it is, the more money a brand will put into the photography. You need to understand that to be able to progress with everything. Now, towards the end of all this period here, and this is pre-COVID, I took all my headshots, portraits, weddings and all the rest of it, and I started doing commercial photography with people. So we would shoot adverts where people were involved. I did okay. I was charging about £2,000 a day. I got an agent, getting bits of usage, maybe £7,000 here, £10,000 there usage. It was okay. I could have made a comfortable living from it. Then COVID struck. And it was before COVID. Let me, a bit of a story here. Before COVID struck, I was in a hotel in Chipping Norton, a bed and breakfast type place. And I was reading a magazine about pop art. And my partner, who knows I don't read, went, "What on earth are you doing over there?" And I was like, "I'm reading this magazine." I'm very dyslexic, I struggle to read. And she said, "Why are you reading?" I was like, "I just really love pop art and I love the history of it. I love the visual. I love everything about it. It is my thing." And she was like, "Well, why aren't you doing that?" And I was like, I've got nothing. So I went home. COVID literally happened like a few weeks later. And I shot my entire body of work of food in a pop art style. I was doing little bits of food because I ended up working with foodie people as the portrait commercial stuff. A bit of food came in. It wasn't making good money for me. I shot a few magazines, some editorials, magazine covers, pays peanuts. We actually just shot our first editorial in over a decade recently for a big publication. These are all small publications. We just shot the Telegraph's, I guess I can get it to pop up, Christmas image. Great fun, rubbish money, as always. As always, I think actually I'm going to do a whole breakdown of it on my YouTube channel, but I think I paid to do that shoot in the end because I wanted to be a good photographer and it wasn't enough money to care anyway. But I digress. We did that and we did commercial food work. And I got a new agent. I went out shopping, found my new agent, and we started working. And we made insane money off the bat. It dipped a bit after that, and then it's picked up again now in the last few years. And that's what I'm doing now. And then we added drinks, and then we added still life, and now we've put people back in again. And here is the punchline that you need. The last type of photography I've done is not a specific genre. Something else I've shot, but it's not a genre that I'm doing next year. I'm no longer, and I stopped doing this a few years ago, I'm no longer shooting genres, I'm shooting style. I'm shooting style. I'm shooting pop art style work. I'm shooting bold, graphic, colourful work. Not bold and graphic food work, not bold and graphic drinks work, bold and graphic work. That's what I'm doing. And here's the greatness to it. I can shoot anything. Any genre, but with my style. And it's not necessarily the only way to do it, that's for sure. It's not like, if you don't do this, you can't make it in 2026. Of course not, don't be ridiculous. This is what I'm doing though. And I want you to see from all those bits I've done, how I've got here. And what I really want to do, and I need to find some time to do this, I want to go and take some bold and graphic landscapes. I want to go and do some bold and graphic documentary work and see what I come up with. That's what I'm interested to do. If you want to see it on the channel, let me know. I'll bring you along for the ride. But that's the plan. That's what we're doing. That's what we're shooting. That's how we've got here. They're all the different things I've done. The pros, the cons, the goods, the bads. It's been a bit of a story time, I suppose, here. And now it's time to, look forward to 2026 and see what comes next in my journey. And I want you to see what comes next in your journey. I want you to keep evolving, keep moving forward, keep trying new things. Always try new things. Every now and again, I'll try new things. I tried to set up a side project a few years ago as a street photographer again. Different name, different website, different agent, did the whole thing. Then I remembered why I stopped doing it. But, quickly sank that ship. Always try something new. Next year, give it a whirl.